Hey besties, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Bestie, the podcast where we talk about faith, friendship, growth, and all the things in between. My name is Wani.
And I'm Samaria, and today we are diving into the question, can you be too honest? And so in the Bible, in Ephesians 4:15, God reminds us to speak truth in love. And so what that truly means is honesty isn't just about what you say, but how you say it. So in season 1, we spoke heavily about therapy and the benefits of therapy. And I know for me personally, it was important in the areas of self-awareness. So it makes me super excited that we have our guest today who is a licensed therapist and practice owner, Miss Oprah Zion.
Hi, guys.
So Oprah, welcome, first of all.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
We would love for you, before we get into any of the questions, we would love for you to tell us a little bit about what inspired you to become a therapist.
So what inspired me to be a therapist? I can give the long answer, but I'm going to try to shorten it. So as a Liberian American, growing up, I was taught, or I guess many of us were taught that whatever goes on, we keep it in the house. Like whatever you're dealing with, you don't go spread your dirty laundry out in the street. And so at a young age, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And it came in and affected my whole life. I was hardly able to walk. I was a dancer. I couldn't dance anymore. I had all of these emotions, and I felt as if my family truly could not understand what I was going through. And I really felt I needed an outlet. And so at 17, going off to college, I didn't have that outlet. And so when I got to college, I really felt lonely. And so it wasn't really until my junior year of college where I was walking down like the campus and I seen on the wall, like, are you having emotional problems or issues or da-da-da, come to the therapy office. And I was like, I've never tried it. Let me give it a try. And so I went in there and I realized that grief is not just death and dying. Like I was literally in a state of grieving what my body once was. I was grieving my childhood. I was just grieving so much. So therapy really helped me to process all of the things I was going through. And I was just like, let me do this for others. I want to do that. So I was a bio major because I wanted to be a neurosurgeon, which kind of go hands in hand with psychology. And I switched my major to psychology, and now I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, really trying to work with individuals as well as families to be able to see themselves, right? Because not everybody always sees you and what you're going through.
Yeah. I love that.
That's a great story.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
I really like that. But what did your family think about you making that decision to go into counseling at that age?
So I think at first it was a little bit abnormal for my parents. For my siblings, we're all Americanized, right? Yeah. So it's like, okay, yeah, go to therapy. They really never been to therapy. So they're like, if that's what you're going to do to help. And so with my parents, it was just more education. Like, okay, so why are you going there? What is somebody going to do, a complete stranger? And just letting them know it's a different feeling speaking to someone who does not know you from a can of paint, right? They have no biases. They cannot judge you. You feel like you're able to just bare your soul in a confidential place. It doesn't leave here. So just educating my parents. And then I think as I went through it, they seen like a difference in me because I'm one person, I'm really resilient. Like God truly does not give you anything you cannot bear. Right. So through the pain, I don't know if y'all know about arthritis, it's very painful and it affects like your body. Like I can't even move my wrist anymore. It's locked, So dealing with those things, I always presented with a smile, right? So nobody knows. You put a mask on. Yeah. But my parents kind of seen that mask break, and I was able to really share a wide range of emotions. It wasn't always, Oprah, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. Oh, I'm gonna get through it. God is gonna see me through it. It's like, no, I had days where I'm like, no, I'm not fine. Yeah. And therapy helped me to articulate that. Yeah. And I think that's what really helped my parents. And so now as a therapist, my parents are like, oh, one of my friends' children are going through something. Oh, can you give them a therapist? Or yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that story. Like we said, that's a beautiful story. So now I guess we're just gonna kind of dive into the questions that we do have. So when it comes to you being a therapist, right? Like, what are some patterns have you noticed? People in relationship, like, what patterns do you notice with them being honest with each other?
Oh, so many patterns. The biggest thing I notice is that a lot of people are afraid of confrontation. A lot of people think confrontation is this horrible thing, and it's really not. And so when it comes to relationships, they feel as if they cannot be honest because they don't want to hurt the other person's feelings. So they tend to not really share the full truth of how they're feeling, walk on eggshells, and then the next thing you know, resentment starts to build. And then the relationship is, as Liberian people say, just chakla, like just all over the place, you know? And so I seen like people needing to just be honest or really understanding what honesty is.
Yeah.
Because honesty is not just saying whatever you want without thinking before you speak. Like the scripture you mentioned, it's like, no, you need to be able to communicate with empathy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Because without that empathy, it just comes off as bluntness, sharpness, rudeness. So people need to truly understand what honesty is. And that's what we do in therapy.
Yeah.
We kind of help you change your mindset around things.
Yeah. So do you see a difference between like genders or cultural differences when it comes to that, or?
Yes. So gender-wise, I don't know. I see male and female clients, and I would say that with this communication, it's on both sides, right? Not wanting to, share fully what they're feeling or feeling like people aren't going to understand. And then culturally, it is a bit different. I have a lot of African clients. I have a lot of Hispanic and Asian clients, and Caucasian. So I have all of everybody. Yeah. And what I've noticed is that when it comes to like the BIPOC group, it's more so they're the ones, or we're the ones, because we're all, people of color, who don't really say what we want to say. But I've noticed with my Caucasian population, they feel more free to express how they're feeling, and I think it goes back to that culture of, number one, who are we speaking to? We're taught in our Liberian culture, respect your elders. Yes. Respect your elders. That is the biggest thing. The elders can be wrong. The elders can disrespect you. But we have to respect our elders. And that teaches us not to learn how to express our emotions. So I noticed a lot of lack in emotional intelligence. Yeah.
So I guess and I know earlier you mentioned, what was it you mentioned? You talked about, I guess having that, I forgot the word. Empathy. I think it was empathy, right? Because I'm like, what's the word she said? Empathy. And I feel like a lot of people don't have empathy. Like, how can, I guess, what advice would you give them? Like, how can they feel those emotions for other people? Like, how can they have empathy for other people?
So I really think it goes to emotional intelligence, right? So emotional intelligence, people make it seem so complicated or so textbook, but it's actually very practical. Emotional intelligence is just noticing emotions, our own and others, right? And then with that realization, using that in how we respond. And so there are about four points to emotional intelligence. So first, self-awareness, which you kind of remembered, is like being aware of how we feel. Like, what are we feeling right now? Am I angry? Am I frustrated? Am I exhausted? And then number two is like that self-management, right? So now that I know how I feel, how do I respond? Like, how am I putting a pause, like a break, and thinking about how I'm about to react to somebody, right? And then you have like social awareness, where the empathy comes in, is like noticing and being aware of how others feel. So imagine you ask somebody who, like, how are you doing? And they're like, I'm fine. But their body language and everything is telling you that this person is not fine. So that social awareness is saying like, hey, Wani, you said you're fine, but you look a bit tense. Are you okay? That's also helping you lean into that person's feelings, right? And then And then comes the relationship skills, is taking all of that and really thinking like, okay, how can I respond to this person in truth, but in a way that is going to build them up and not tear them down. So I really think emotional intelligence helps with empathy because, again, you're leaning into your own feelings, but not only your own, others.
Yeah.
So how do you think that, I guess, like early experiences in life, because you talked about, your family and how that dynamic happened and made you transition into where you are today. Like, how do you think early experiences impact, some of the behaviors that we have today and when it comes to honesty and that sort of thing?
Oh, it impacts it a lot. So let me give you all an example. I don't know, a lot of people probably go through this when you were children. Well, I guess not really now because we have cell phones, but think back, and I don't know how old you all are, but I know growing up in, okay, so you guys were there with landlines.
Yes.
Okay. So a lot of people, parents would say, in their home, number one, they'll tell you, don't lie. Lying is not good. But then you're home and you're a child and they're saying, the phone is ringing, I'm not here. I'm not here. Somebody's calling, I'm not here. You get what I'm saying? What that teaches us, like subconsciously, is to start lying.
Yes.
And a lot of parents don't want to hear that. But that's where that root comes in, right? Because if we talk about God, right, we know that the enemy is here to steal, kill, and destroy. And any open door is what he is going to go with. So that's an open door. It's like, okay, the child is like, well, my mom told me not to lie, but it's okay to lie because she's telling me to lie. So you answer that phone and they're like, hey, can I speak to your mom? And you're looking at your mom sitting there washing dishes. Oh, she's not home. They're like, oh, okay, well, can you tell her to call me back? And then you hang up the phone and it's never a follow-up. You just keep it moving. Your mom never tells you why she told you to do that, why that happened. She never takes the thought to think, was that really right? So again, that brings in that root of like not being honest, like kind of saving things, or it just goes on more and more. Like, let's say if, I don't know, you have siblings and your sister asks you how they look, you would want to be brutally honest and say, I don't think you should wear that thing. But then you're like, I kind of want to save face. I don't want to hurt her feelings. But like, well, Samaria, that looks good. It's okay. So then again, that's another way that we start to not be honest. So I really think as parents, we have to help our children understand that honesty is not a bad thing. Like you can speak your truth without being harsh. Right? You can tell your sister who has on this outfit that doesn't look good, okay, Oprah, how does this look? I think you would look even better in the blue one you wore or you showed me. That's a way of me not tearing her down, but a way of me putting my opinion in without being harmful or hurtful. So I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, it does. It just makes me think about like even you talk about the dynamic of a parent and the child and like in an African household, I'm always like reminded of like, okay, what if I decide I want to be honest to my parent and they find it as disrespectful? Like, how do I navigate that? About the honesty in that situation? Because you said respect your elders, right? So it's kind of like, I'm respecting you, but I also want to be honest with you. Like, this is how I feel about a situation. Like, we did an episode last season, and I didn't like how the way it ended up going. I don't want to go too deep. Before I bring back up the drama. But like, it was like, I was just being honest and sharing my truth, and it kind of just didn't sit right with, a family member. So it's kind of like, how do you be honest about a particular situation? And, especially when it comes to your parent, without them like feeling a way about it?
That is such a great question. It's number one, it starts with checking your energy first. Because a lot of times we want to express our truth, but we need to see, where is this coming from right now? Is this truth coming out of hurt? Is it coming out of frustration? You know what I'm saying? Check my energy, because if we check our energy and we don't check our energy and we're hurt, that truth is gonna come off like a sharp razor, right? So you wanna always check your energy, see where you are, and then notice your intention. What is my intention? Am I here to heal or am I here to hurt? Am I here for understanding or am I here for like pettiness, right? So noticing that intention, and then lastly, like pausing and reflecting. So taking a break to really gather your thoughts, thinking before we speak, because it's not what we're saying, it's more so how we're saying it. So yes, our parents have that mentality of respect your elders, but with my parents, I've done it multiple times where they've said something that is not right, or it comes off a bit harsh, because I can't speak for everyone's parents. I love my parents. They're like my best friends. But sometimes they say things, and I know they mean well, but it comes off very rough. And so I have to let them know, number one, I have to check my energy, because we're humans. I can be real tight. Like, in my head, who you talking to? You know what I'm saying? So with that, who you talking to, I'm already irritated. I'm so irritated. And I noticed that the times that I've spoken out of irritation, in one ear, out the other for the person that's listening, especially like my dad. He'd be like, girl, bye. Who you talking to? So I literally check myself, and when I feel irritated, when I feel frustrated or even angered, I breathe. Yeah. I take a moment to breathe. And I love to bring God, Christ into everything. So I'm like, Lord, search my heart, because it says, like, create in me a pure heart. Yeah. Like, and renew a steadfast spirit in me. And so I'm always asking God, like, Lord, where's my heart posture right now? Yes. Because he dealing with our parents, dealing with children, family, sometimes it's really rough. So I'm like, where am I at right now? And if I feel like I'm really annoyed, I don't touch on the topic right then and there, because it's not going to turn out well. Right. It's just going to come out as me blasting you. Yeah. So after I kind of check my energy or check my heart posture, then I'm like, okay, so what is my why behind this? Because at the end of the day, when we go into these conversations, I cannot tell you, Samaria or Wani, how to feel or how to respond to what I'm about to tell you. Yeah. But my why is I want you to know how I felt. So the best thing to do, is to use I statements. I feel emotion word when whatever the action is. So for example, let's say, you're talking to your husband or your boyfriend or your significant other, and you always feel like they're not listening. Many people just stop off and like, you never listen. That right there is blaming. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of accusatory. Yeah. Instead of, I feel unheard when I'm speaking, and you're in the other room or you're walking away. It makes me feel unheard. That leaves room for that, number one, breaks down the defensiveness. And leaves room for communication, open communication. So with our parents, try that. I try that with my parents. Like, instead of saying, you guys, y'all don't listen, y'all always yelling at people, things. Yeah. I'm like, Daddy, I feel unseen or unheard, or I even feel disrespected sometimes if I'm speaking to you. And then as I'm talking, it's like, you're raising your voice. So then I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? I feel hurt. Yeah. I feel as if I've probably done something wrong to you, but I'm just explaining to you how I feel. Yeah. And I just want to know why. And then this is something I tell my clients all the time. Use curiosity. Okay. And what I mean by that is come from a place of curiosity. Wani, just out of curiosity, why did you yell at me when I asked, could I have some candy? Doesn't that make you kind of stop and think dang, why did I yell at her? Why did I yell at her? So I love to use that with my parents. And I notice that it stops them in their track, because people are so ready to feel blamed or get on that defense that curiosity just breaks it. Like, dang, why did I yell at Oprah like that? I don't even know. Yeah. So I know that was a long answer, but hopefully,
It was perfect. Yeah,
I guess just to kind of echo of what she said, but it's kind of different. Yeah. So like, what if, you are not being rude, right, to your parents, and you're just, talking to them, but you have those one parents that's like, you don't know anything. What do you know? Be quiet. You know what I mean? Like, they just, even if you come up with the, hey, what made you want to, why did you, not why, but, like, basically, why did you yell at me? Or if you tell them like, hey, you really hurt my feelings. Some parents, like, brush it off. So like, how do you deal with that? Like, how do you have a conversation with those kind of parents?
So again, we can only control ourselves. A lot of people get into this tit for tat or this conflict when they expect a certain explanation or a certain answer, and they don't get in, they get upset. We cannot stress what we can't control. And so when you're using like the curiosity thing, like, Mom, just out of curiosity, why did you yell at me that way? A Liberian parent, man, move from here.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Man, move from here. At that point, you also have to see like the intentions behind this. If I keep going, what is going to happen? Because I already let my mom know that what she did hurt me. Trust and believe it's going to sink in. And now it's about to be a power struggle. We got to know when to say, like emotional maturity is knowing what to say and when to say it.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Because not everything needs a response.
Right.
And I think that be our problem sometimes where
We say everything that comes to mind.
we don't like the response and we want to get back like, well, why aren't you what? It's not going nowhere. Now it's a shouting match. So again, that pause and breaking, that pause and reflecting is like, move from here. Like go from here. Don't ask me that thing no more. And it's just be like, okay, Mom. And you kind of step away and you can pray. That's where it comes. You can pray for your mom, pray for her heart that she receives that. But the more you try to hammer it in one ear, out the other. It's like, again, you just got to know, pick and choose your battles sometimes. But trust and believe, that sank in. They may not want to hear it, but it sank in and you're not giving them that same energy. I cannot stand this whole, I'm a match your energy. I don't like that. Because when we match energy, the conversation goes nowhere.
It goes nowhere, you get nowhere. It's like, then what? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You're still at point A.
Basically.
So how can someone identify when their truth is actually coming from a place of hurt, defensiveness, or unprocessed emotion?
Yeah. So basically, like what I said earlier, like I feel like I kind of already answered that, which is good. But it's the same thing of really kind of checking within yourself to see where this truth is coming from. Because if that truth is rooted in unprocessed emotions, it is going to come off like a sword. Like it's going to come off so sharp. So just recognizing that and kind of dealing with that first. Because a lot of times we harbor bitterness for people, but we don't want to admit that. And so a lot of the truth that we have is coming out of that irritation or that feeling unjustified. A lot of clients I work with, like, deal with this justice. They want to seek justice. They need justice now. They need that closure. But some of the times we're not going to get that closure.
Oh, and I'm glad you said that because, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say because sometimes for me, I'm someone who definitely, I need closure. I need to know why you're mad at me. What did I do? Like, sometimes it's like, it's not enough for us to just say, okay, we're not going to talk no more. And just, so like, just navigating that. How is somebody like me who's an overthinker and who needs that closure, like, how do I navigate?
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, you're upset with, let's say, Billy Joe. And Billy Joe's like, I don't want to talk to you anymore, blah, 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 but you need that closure. You get that, how do you want that closure from Billy Joe? What do you want Billy Joe to really say that's going to tell you, I'm good? Is there really something somebody can really say that you're going to be like?
I don't think so. I just think so, just, I guess, the knowing. Because the unknown is kind of like what causes the overthinking. So I think that's just pretty much it. So even though it doesn't give me the feeling that I would love to have, it's just at least I know that I can, okay, we ran into this issue because I did X, Y, and Z to Billy Joe, you know?
Which I get it. It's like, okay, you telling me what I did will help me not do it to the next person. But many times we're not going to get that. And so when that overthinking comes, it comes with a lot of negative automatic thoughts. And so it's recognizing those thoughts. What are they? Because a lot of times I tell people that negative thoughts are feelings, not facts. So when we don't get closure, we run this whole thing in our head about why Billy Joe stopped talking to us. We have this whole scenario, but we don't even know if that's true. What's our evidence on it? You get what I'm saying? So it's like, if I'm not going to get the true facts of this, it's something that I can't dwell on. So when those thoughts keep coming in your head, it's like kind of stopping them and telling yourself, it's like, okay, what type of friend was I to Billy Joe? And if you felt that you were a good friend and it just wasn't good enough for Billy Joe, then it's like, I'm going to be okay with that. Or when you do your self-talk or you check within yourself, and there were times where Billy Joe was talking and you were abrasive, you were rude, you need to then check yourself. You may not know if that's why Billy Joe stopped being your friend, but it's like, hey, there were times where we were in a disagreement and I overspoke or I said harsh things, maybe I need to work on those things because again, Billy Joe's not going to come to tell you, Samaria, you need to work on this. So I hope that makes sense. It's like you're not going to get it. The thoughts are going to come. You know?
It does. And I think about, sometimes like I don't know if maybe it's the perfectionist in me. So like I try to understand people's truth, but then I also have my truth as well. And so like when people don't understand my truth, it's kind of like, what can I do or say to get you to understand how I feel in this situation, without it being too super emotional, super defensive, So yeah.
And that's the hard part, right? It's just like, again, we can't control that.
Right.
Because Billy Joe, I don't know where I got that name from.
I know, right? I was sitting here like, Billy Joe, that name, I can't take it.
But Billy Joe can try to get his point across to you so bad, but it's just not resonating with you. Or you hear him, but you don't feel that way. You guys look at things differently. So why must I solely agree on what you say or just only understand? I can understand where you're coming from and still be in disagreement.
Okay. I like that you say that. So it's okay for me to be in disagreement. I don't have to agree with Billy Joe. It doesn't make Billy Joe right.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It goes back to, again, picking and choosing your battles.
Yes.
Because you guys both have different views.
Okay.
And both views can probably be respected and accepted.
Okay. Gotcha.
Nice.
So you want to transition into
let's transition into the questions that we do have. But before we start the question, I've never been to therapy. And I was telling her maybe I need to. So like I guess, is therapy something you would recommend for any and everybody? Like even if,
Yes, therapy is something I would recommend for any and everybody. I always tell people this. We go to the doctors, to check up on our body. Make sure our body is in good shape. Like you have to do your yearly physicals and stuff like that. That's the same way you need to check up on your mind, right? We have all these things that we're going through during the day or just in our life in general. And most of the times you don't want to talk to your friend about it because they're going through their own thing. So it's good to come to a trained professional who, number one, is not going to look at you and judge you or have a bias because I don't know you from nowhere.
Yeah.
So your story is literally your story and it gives me just a clean slate to help you process these emotions without being like, oh, Wani, I know you. You get angry. Let's get to the root of this. Where is that anger coming from? What is it rooted in? So I just tell people therapy is good. It's a way to just do that mental health checkup on yourself.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. Do you have a therapist?
I do.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
I do. Therapists need therapists.
Okay.
I have
That's just
You take on everybody's problems every single day. So like having to be able to download some of those problems too, like isn't that?
And I've been doing this over 10 years, so I think I've gotten to the place where I do not internalize these things.
Oh, that's good.
Now, I have moments where I'll have a very heavy session. And I'm going to be honest, I've had sessions that have left me, I didn't cry in the session, but I cried after the session. But while I'm crying, I'm praying for that person. So I'm very in tune with God, very in tune with Christ. And so before I even see my clients, I pray over them. I pray over my day. I pray over my sessions. Because again, we know spiritually, demons are real.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
People's demons can attach. And so one thing I always do, guys, full armor of God. I do not miss. Every single day I put on that full armor. And I think that helps to take the weight off of what I'm hearing.
Yeah. And I think what you saying that it reminded me too, like when you do decide to get into therapy, the right therapist is also important because some therapists are not for you. So you just you might have to try a few before you figure out which one is the best one.
I love that you said that. Another thing I tell clients is you could be a size 8, trying a size 8 shoe, and it just doesn't fit right. You need to switch. And so never be afraid to go to a therapy session and be real with yourself. If you're not feeling that therapist, our job is we're not attached to you like that. Like every therapist should want you to be with the right therapist. So for me, I'm always going to do a free 15-minute consultation. Let's get on the phone. Let's have a conversation. Let's feel each other out. See if we are a good fit. And if we aren't, I will always give referrals. You know, and this has never happened to me. In Jesus' name, it won't. But if it does, hey, it does. be open, to just tell your therapist, like, this is, or you don't have to tell them, but just find another therapist.
Yeah.
And so the only thing I tell people is you just got to get ready to share your story again.
Yeah.
Because it can be frustrating, but it's the process.
Yeah.
You're getting, like, it's a dance. You want to be able to dance with a partner that know how to dance with you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Alright.
So this little exercise / game is called Not Can You Be Too Honest? What am I saying?
Keep it.
It's called Keep It or Release It. I was on the wrong note card. So the first one is being brutal honesty with no filter.
Will you keep
Will you
it
keep it or
or
release
release it?
I'll release it.
Okay.
Okay. Taking a day before responding to an emotional text.
I will keep that.
Okay.
And let me make sure I understand this. So keeping is the thing that I want to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
releasing it is like you don't want
I'm
to.
not going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I'll keep that.
Okay. So telling our friend about something someone else said about them.
That's
I'll
tough, right?
release that.
What? She said, let's tell her.
I'm sitting here saying that's tough, right?
No, but see, it's like, it depends though. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not just an easy release, because it depends on what did that person say about that person.
Yeah.
Is that my place to even share that? Is that spreading gossip? Again, am I building or am I tearing down?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Am I causing confusion? So that's what I think about too. Now, if it is something that is dealing with like their safety or anything like that, okay, of course. But if it's gonna turn into like a gossip fest, or
Yeah.
can you believe such and such? Like I don't do that.
And that's
So-
exactly my thought process when I saw that one. I was like, I don't know. It's kind of like half and half on that one.
So I don't know if we got a half like in the middle.
Okay, so one more question. White lies to protect someone's feelings. Keep it or release it?
I'll release that.
Okay.
You need to be, and that's where that honesty comes from. It's like, I can be able to tell Wani how I feel with, again, not tearing her down. You get what I'm saying? So healthy communication always is going to include empathy. Like, how is this conversation going to make Wani feel in the way that I'm delivering it? Because am I saying, girl, you ugly? Or am I just saying, like, hey, Wani, sometimes when you say certain things, it can make me feel a little bit uneasy.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know, it just all goes like that. So y'all
Yeah.
release that.
Yeah,
We don't
okay,
need to be telling no
cool.
lies.
Right. Well, we want to say thank you so much
Yes.
again for coming on Let's Talk Bestie. We really enjoyed our time with you. But before we go, we want to make sure our followers are able to find you on social media. So why don't you go ahead and just share your social for us?
Can we pause right here? I got
Sure.
a call.
Good.
Girl, I was holding that thing in. So sure, you guys can find me on Instagram at Oprah Speaks, OPRAH SPEAKS, as well as TikTok with the same name. And then if you are interested in therapy and you want a free consultation, my website is ajourneytoempowerment.org. Hope to hear from you.
I know, right?
That's
So
amazing.
Let's Talk Bestie. Continue to follow us on TikTok, Instagram.
YouTube.
Yes, YouTube. Like and subscribe, please, guys.
Yes.
And we look forward to seeing you on our next episode.
Until next time. Bye,
Bye.
besties.